Everybody, welcome back. So, guess what we're doing? Pakabuda. Pakabuda. Alright, we're in this section titled Time and Infinity, page 153. It is a defect in language that words suggest permanent realities. Sounds like what Heidegger would say. And people do not see through this deception. But mere words cannot create reality. Thus, people speak of a final goal and believe it is real, but it is a form of words, and the goal as such is without substance. The one who realizes the emptiness of objects and concepts does not depend on words. Perfect wisdom is beyond definition, and pathlessness is the way to it. That's a strong assertion, right? Words do matter, but at a certain point, you can just have an endless road of word creation that would kind of hinder you, right? You'd get stuck on the definitions, like Bill Clinton when he says, like, what does is mean or it mean, or what he said something like that when he got busted, but it was like, come on, man, you know what we mean. It's kind of like what lawyers do in the courtroom, right? The wise one treads this path for the direct realization of impermanence and for the direct realization of understanding. This then is perfect wisdom. Such a one should tread this path knowing that attachment and attractions are neither good nor harmful. So it depends probably on how you allow them to control you. Even enlightenment is neither good nor harmful, because perfect wisdom is not meant to promote good or harm for that person. However, even though there is no intention of good or harm, it does not confer endless blessing. Prajnaparamita. So even if you become enlightened, you could still, not have as many blessings as you want. You can still be like afflicted by the external world to a certain sense. Your internal world won't be disturbed, but you can't control the people around you, right? Saka asked, "What is the cause of self-interest?" The Buddha answered, "It is perception of the world as one object." Self-interest, huh? And how that creates this perception in your mind that the earth is one object. And if it's one, it can be grasped at and controlled. It's interesting. How does one overcome this perception of the world as apart from oneself? By acting for the increase of goodness and happiness. It is in this way that the world ceases to be one's object. Digha Nikaya. The world is not our object. That's a good way to think. Maybe we can start taking better care of it and not just extracting from it and polluting it. There is a way of skillful means that is called like the sun. Just as the sun ripens the growing plant, so a skillful person, like the sun, can mature the seed of enlightenment in others. Mature the seed of enlightenment in others. Then too, as the sun never stops giving out heat, so the skill of this person establishes all beings in compassion. That is a very cool analogy. Third, as the sun melts frozen things, so a skillful person seeing, as it were, the antidote, melts away cravings and obsessions. Cravings and obsessions. Whew. Oof. As the sun takes away the darkness, so this person, recognizing all that is there in the other, takes away the darkness of ignorance. And as the sun warms everything up equally, so the skillful one gladdens all beings, for the means he uses are like the warmth and radiance of the sun. Prajnaparamita. When people have come to know fully the satisfaction that the world can give also the misery that can be caused, when they understand that there can be freedom from both desire and sorrow, then they are released from the shackles of the world. The shackles of the world. There's a lot of shackles in the world, man. From its confines and limitations, they live with a liberated heart. They come to know the real meaning of the world, the way things arise and cease, and the consciousness that transcends both the arising and the ceasing. Anguttara Nikaya. Alright, now this next section is titled wisdom. And as you can see, I already highlighted because I love this section. All that we are is the result of our thoughts. How many times have we heard that? It is founded on our thoughts and made up of our thoughts. With our thoughts we make the world. If you speak or act with a harmful thought, trouble will follow you, as the wheel follows the ox that draws the cart. That's a hard one to get rid of, though, too. It's very hard to control in that sense. All that we are is the result of our thoughts. It is founded on our thoughts and made up of our thoughts. With our thoughts we make the world. If you speak or act with a harmonious thought, happiness will follow you as your own shadow, never leaving you. Dhammapada. It's hard when people can put harmful thoughts into your head by their behavior. Suppose a person is in need of sound timber and he searches for it. He comes across a great upstanding tree, and all good wood, but he ignores the trunk and takes the easier branches and bark instead. Hoping that this is good timber, a wiser person would at once say, "That one surely can't tell the difference between sound timber and bark. He has nothing there that will serve his needs." In the same way, the essence of the dedicated life does not consist of quick gains. I underlined that to see it. So these, the racehorse of college, like hurry up and finish and we'll get the money. It's like, no, you're just gonna end up in a cubicle and miserable and you didn't really learn much. Just for some, at least. Honor and good name, nor in profit that comes from observing moral rules, nor yet even in knowledge or insight. The real heart releases the trunk of the tree. That heart releases in the meaning, the essence, the goal of living the dedicated life. Majjhima Nikaya. A monk can be very gentle, very peaceful, where there are no hard words to assail him. But when hard words are directed at all him, it is then that he must be really gentle and peaceful. Majjhima Nikaya. Two things will lead you to supreme understanding. What are those two? Tranquility and insight. Tranquility and insight. If you develop tranquility, what benefit can you expect? Your mind will develop. The benefit of a developed mind is that you are no longer a slave to your impulses. This is really hard because we have a very impulsive society. Even the grocery stores are set up for impulse buys. Ads have constant sex, which gives you an impulse to think of sex. It's so hard. So freaking hard. If you develop insight, what benefit will it bring? You will find wisdom. And the point of developing wisdom is that it brings you freedom from the blindness of ignorance. Ain't that the truth? A mind held bound by unconsidered impulse and ignorance can never develop true understanding. But by way of tranquility and insight, the mind will find freedom. Anguttara Nikaya. Before teaching others, you have to know what you are teaching thoroughly. So it's very important for you yourself to practice continually. Without having yourself experienced what are you teaching, you cannot properly teach others. One who is sunk in the mud is unable to pull out another sunk in the mud. Majjhima Nikaya. That is quite interesting. I think that goes a lot for relationships and like other situations in life, right? If somebody who hasn't done what they're telling you to do and they're like bashing you for it, it's like, well, you didn't really know either, so why are you saying that? A Brahmin said to the Buddha, "For my part, I say this. This is my view. If I speak of what I've seen or heard or sensed, there is no harm resulting from that. Yes, anecdotal evidence. I do that a lot." The Buddha replied, "For my part, Brahman, I do not say that everything one has seen, heard, or sensed should be said or should not be said. It is a question of timing." That's very true. One should be aware of what is the right time and what is the wrong time. It is possible to speak openly and be misunderstood. Yes, that's very true. But if open speaking is at the right time and the right occasion, then you should do it. Anguttara Nikaya. Yes. Being open, honest, not just hiding secrets and fiddling lies.